champion and World Cup winner Ruby Tui alongside me. The task gets harder when you've got 3 players out injured, as is for South Africa.
Kia ora everybody, I'm back and I'm ready for this game. And you're right, Ricky, South Africa, you know, they're ranked in the top 5. Amazing team, but when you got 3 out injured, and I think the people at home need to know, South Africa are an amazing rugby nation, but they have to use the greatest number of players so far this season with a total of 28, which means they have just been riddled with injury, and for them to be fielding a team and carrying on is such a huge feat in itself. Jordan Way, our referee today.
Yep, they lost a few to injury, a couple to Super Rugby doing different things as well. And South Africa needing something special here to get themselves through to a quarter-final, keeping in mind too their rivals for that other spot at the moment are Australia, who look good to go through to the last 8. But at the moment, it is New Zealand to get us underway against the Blitzboks. New Zealand 2 from 2 so far. It's brought down nicely by Sebastian Job. So just 3 players on the bench for the Blitzboks. South Africa would need to win this match by 30 points to qualify for the quarterfinals, which is tricky when you're playing the #1 ranked side. But this is a good start for them, and this has been the man, or one of the men, to really carve up. Ndlovu finds Grobbelaar on the outside, coming back and making the tackle as Finyananofo for New Zealand, and now New Zealand just physical presence blowing through from Brady Rush. Finyananofo, who made the tackle, spun to ground, and New Zealand looked to turn defence hard on to attack. Collier and Moses Leo, he was so elusive, so hard to put down. Cook Savage getting a start. Tapaya Cook Savage. Here's Leroy Carter. Finyananofo got some heavy wrapping on that left boot. Doesn't seem to be causing him too many dramas at the moment. Brady Rush. Now Cook Savage, little show and go. Couldn't quite get the ball away for Collier. He's there now, the New Zealand co-captain. Leo and Rush. This is a pretty relentless start from New Zealand on attack. Lewis Orman goes headlong into Oosthuizen. The robust Ryan Oosthuizen still going hard at everything. Collier lays it back and just pinched away. Easy as you like.
I can't release now.
From Chrissy Grobbelaar. And they'll win the ball back after all that effort. It's South... Excuse me.
Massive from Grobbelaar. They were on defence for huge passages of play.
Come off, thank you, son.
That turnover was crucial.
Tom's off, please.
You could see New Zealand throwing numbers into the breakdown when they were on defence, but for South Africa, it just took one. Grobbelaar stands up, and 30 points to qualify for quarters. It's a huge ask. As we see Finyananofo just taking a knee, getting some attention. And when I say South Africa have used 28 players this season, to give you an idea of that is, when I played sevens for the Blackfern Sevens, we only had about 21 in total to choose
water
from.
off now, please.
Total contracted. So
For sure, yeah. Water off, please.
for one reason or another, injury, Super Rugby, South Africa have really had to dig deep
Stay behind him. Steady to a ball.
into their
Make
depth
sure you hook. Okay.
for players.
Same as always. Stay bound to him. Steady to a ball's in.
Right, back.
It's all right, Hank, I got you back.
You got me.
We're a team 2 up here. We don't have 28 commentators, it's just us, fam.
Yeah, that ball. Time back on, please.
As we see
Crouch.
Finyananofo, that ankle pretty heavily
Bind.
strapped, but he's unable to play on. Hopefully he'll be okay
Set.
for day 2, but he takes a rest.
Steady.
Jaden Baron to feed the scrum for South Africa. It Cook Savage all over him, but he scooped it away really nicely.
Ready,
And now
driver.
the stab kick ahead and the pace coming down that right-hand side. Oh, Sebastian Job had a fly hack at it. Didn't quite work out, but worth a crack.
Oh, beautiful option. As we see Job,
Yep.
the bounce just unkind to him. And he lands out. Touchy
Zealand,
does end
let's
up
go,
putting
please.
up a flag.
Up to the line.
But I like the tactic that's turning the All Black
Big good
Sevens
fun,
around, making them question.
Collier plucks this line away from set piece. Cook Savage gets the ball back again, and heavily in the action. Just pops one over the top here now. It rolls nicely for Leo, the loose ball. And the offload keeps himself really alive, doesn't he? Cook Savage in the thick of the action, making himself an option. Here's Ormond. Roaming out wide. Lewis Ormond, oh, the little slider hand pass. Brady Rush has put it down. Oh, it's a lovely little shift. And South Africa tap and go from the penalty. Fissa. That one squirts out the back for him. And now Job with his pace trying to get around the outside. Both teams really giving the ball some air here. And then New Zealand just go power play over the top. Lost a couple of times in there. It'll still be South Africa's feed.
Massive back and play, back and forth play.
Time off, please.
You see there, South Africa have conceded the first try of the match in all 4 games against New Zealand. They've just had a hard run. Job has been a massive threat down that right-hand side, and hopefully he's just winded because the coach will be on the edge of his seat about the injury rate of his team.
Just winded?
Yeah, thankfully, yes, just winded. So, yeah, squads of 13 come in. You name a 12. And of their 13, South Africa have just lost 3 in the last match. Sean Williams, Ricardo Duarte, and Tian Pretorius.
Just make sure we're steady before the ball.
You can win. I've seen it before. You can win with 10 people, but your substitutions have to be extremely accurate at the right time. You cannot let anybody get too fatigued. So it's a massive ask, and it completely changes tactics for a team.
But on to feed away. Nicely worked this time. Donovan Don out there as well in 34. Here's Christian Grobelaar. He's had a good season for the blitz box. Fissa, the warrior, keeps going forward. Grobelaar, bit of space down that short side, a little change of direction. The offload is good too, and the hands were excellent from Don. Keeping the ball in play nicely here, South Africa, but on. He's got good acceleration, as does this man, and a great change of direction. Mfundo Ndlovu. Brilliant strike for South Africa to get first points.
Oh, Ndlovu, the people love you. That injection of pace. The New Zealand defenders, who have been outstanding this season, could not contain him. As we see here, he grabs the ball and just changes off that left foot so quick. Leroy Carter couldn't dive quick enough. Amazing start from a team who's really had to stand up, and they've got their hands up of their people.
It's a great score from Mfundo Ndlovu, who's one of the players they've got back from injury. Been absent at various times and had a really good day today for South Africa. 7 points to 0 they lead. Go long off this kickoff. Finds grass at the back, but the bounce is kind for Collier. New Zealand playing in front of their own post, looking to go wide really early to Leo. Steps his way around a couple, creates the space for himself with that big fin, and that is a lovely ball wide for Ormond, who's got some space and some footwork and an offload. Collier in support, and it is New Zealand who are going to go side to side and then end to end, breaking out from their own try line, and it's Dylan Collier who'll eventually dot it down.
Taking his time is Dylan Collier, making the South African defenders work. But the work from the entire team, Moses Leo back on his own try line, working his way through. Huge pass from Cook Savage, and Ormond just putting the awe in awesome. A step, draws in, and an offload, which means he gets a try assist to his stats. And Dylan Collier, as always, right there in support of his teammates. Co-captaining this weekend, player of the final last weekend. Absolutely standing up for his team.
Cook Savage converts, and all of a sudden we're all square again. Dylan Collier ranking high in the assists.
Fair contest, back off black.
7-all. As the clock ticks down on this first half in Pool A, South Africa need to win it by 30 to qualify for the quarterfinals. Otherwise, it'll be
Stay last
Australia and New Zealand who'll progress. Oh, big mistake in front of the post. Just took his eye off it. But the halftime gong had gone, so New Zealand will go to the break with that late strike, and it's all square, 7-all. Well, Australia looking, as I say, odds on to reach their way through to a quarter-final, but one of their key men in a great game just out, Josh Turner, with some reaction.
Josh, congratulations, winning your second pool game. You knew how to put up a big score to see you get you through to the quarters. Job done?
Yeah, well, job's not done. We've still got tomorrow, but what an effort from the boys. You've got 13 boys out there playing some good footy. To keep them scoreless today is really shows where we're at. So, yeah, fantastic, but we go again tomorrow.
Your defence, as you said, was outstanding. You also notched up a personal record, your 50th try. Feels special to get it?
Awesome. Look at that. I didn't even know that. Fantastic. What a place to do it, man. Singapore's a great place. Yeah, that's awesome.
A quick message to your family before I let you go.
Yeah, man. I'm sending lots of love to my partner, Ruby, and my two daughters, Pippa and Bella. I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for the support. It's always hard on the second leg being away from them. So I love you girls, and to all my family back home in New Zealand, I love you as well. Thank you.
Awesome, Josh. You go well tomorrow.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
50 tries, and obviously good taste in names.
Absolutely, Ricky. Good man from Hamilton. Massive milestone to him, an amazing player. Congratulations, Josh Turner. But 7-all, Ricky, at half-time. It's got the fans on their feet.
7-all between New Zealand and South Africa. This is the last match in Pool A. South Africa needs to win this by 30 to get themselves through to a quarter-final. Otherwise, it's Australia and New Zealand who'll progress, and that could have all sorts of ramifications for the series standings, the Olympic qualification spot. There's so much permutations. The kids are going mad. Get them some more sugar, and we're going to get into it on a Saturday evening here in Singapore.
Singapore goes off, Ricky. I'm impressed.
Good.
How good has it been?
Great place, great spot, great sevens. New Zealand bring it down through Dylan Collier, who scored their only try. Looking to release again, Leo down the side. South Africa short on numbers. There's Travis Ismail's out there now. Shaksoi Zwapi, just a couple of reserves on the bench, and they're going to get a penalty here, New Zealand.
Yeah, nah. Soyuz Wapi, you could hear the ref, but he probably couldn't because the kids are dancing so loud out there in the crowd. To remove his hands. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
If we could have another look at that, and look at that, we can, because World Rugby's so good at what they do. Knees on the ground, hands on the ground, ref definitely won't allow that. And also,
Okay, Black,
once
let's go,
Carter
top of
joins on top of rush like that, it becomes a ruck. So you have to be very careful not to have your hands in the ruck.
So Zwapi couldn't resist. It's more ball for New Zealand, although it's a little awkward for Cook Savage, and it's Ormond who eventually goes and scoops it away. In New Zealand, I often see they're quite comfortable to backtrack before accelerating. And here's young Cody Vi out there, just losing control of it though, and those little inaccuracies will irritate New Zealand and their coach Clark Laidlaw.
Yeah, a little irritating, but it's so smart of South Africa to just stint their momentum. They've obviously studied how New Zealand attack. They offload, and you can see them getting into the passing lanes and the channels there, just causing carnage. For Vi in that case, they're swarming them on defence. It leaves them vulnerable on the other side, but it's paying off. And like you say, Clark Laidlaw
Crouch
hails from Scotland, where the game was invented.
Bind.
Good man, he's dedicated his life, moved over from Scotland for
Set.
these boys.
South Africa is Ethan James onto the field as well. Sandile Ngobo just really having to roll his subs, using them very cleverly at the moment, and then getting great meters out of this guy. Again, South Africa lay it back for Ismail. Bumping off bodies, sit down Dylan Collier. There's Travis Ismail comes at him. Here is Undolovu again. And Oosthuizen, they have been really key. Soizwapi, the skipper, wrapped up by Rush. And Baron almost through. Carter clung on to him, but South Africa building really nicely here. Oosthuizen. Carter on that for New Zealand, though, locked in over that ball, the number 12, and away goes Tupai. Cook-Savage trying to catch South Africa's defence. Offside! Carter was on his shoulder. Wasn't quite expecting it. They've spilled a couple of those, New Zealand.
We haven't got an advantage
and
there.
now South Africa the other way. Go back and play the scrum.
It'll be frustrating because Carter was too quick and he got that turnover. He was so quick over that ball. And then in supporting.
14.
But what about this hit? Dylan Collier's a solid man, and he just got whirlwind backwards by Ishmael. Impressive contact, and this is Carter.
Okay.
Too quick over that pill. There's no way South Africa could retain that position. That's why he was so frustrated when he didn't hold the pop ball from Cook-Savage. An amazing player, though.
Carter going to the side in frustration. Leroy Carter, such a competitor.
Time back on. Crowd.
That's why he's been one of New Zealand's best this season.
Bind. Set.
Jaden Baron feeds the scrum
Made contact.
and gets a penalty for his team.
Oh, such a fine line, too, for those halves.
Keep walking. Keep going, Tim.
And he's going to get
You
marked
can't
as
come push
well.
someone after it.
There was a little extra pushing going on from the ref. But for a halfback to defend, there's such a fine line between being offside and tackling them too early and being perfectly timed.
Oh, kick's not going to go out. Tried to peel off too many metres. So they'll hand possession back to New Zealand. Regan Ware out there now for the Kiwis. And another penalty will march New Zealand upfield.
Yeah, ref's been clear with his action there, no release. Penalty's been pretty even if you look at the totals there. Sometimes the way the tackled player falls, it looks like you don't release.
Yep.
New Zealand opting for territory and some set piece. Beautiful shot there of the grip on that ball. Some of the best in sevens, the rugby balls they have out here.
Lokole Soa hits his target in the former Dylan Collier. Cook-Savage again as New Zealand try to work a move in the middle, waiting for Nicole on the wraparound. Amanaki Nicole, he's got Leo steaming up outside, and Moses Leo for the corner, just about brought down. No, it's Cody Vai, excuse me. Out there on the right, Cody Vai. Try given for the 19-year-old, and a good strike from New Zealand.
Cody Vai, more than vying for his position. As we look here, it was a dummy wrap and then a true wrap, and it was Amanaki Nicole who so beautifully caught that weighted pass from Ware, and it's Vai who's also burst onto the scene, providing such great hope for the future of the All Black Sevens, and he slides over in some super fashion, and Amanaki Nicole's here for it too.
Tell you what, it's added one to Moses Leo's stats. Excuse me, Cody Vai, that one's all yours.
You can be forgiven, Ricky. They're all fit, they're all fast. They all want to do their country proud and get the people on their feet.
12-7, New Zealand go ahead. This has been a really tight, tense game. Few errors from both teams.
High tackle. He has gone down into it, but still high.
South Africa going to try and get something. Another this day one. They did beat Hong Kong, China, but really struggled in their opener. They've just had a roller coaster of a season with those injuries and changes we mentioned. Had a win in Dubai, won the title there. Second in Sydney. But otherwise, it's just been all over the show for them.
Count one, I laid there.
Gee, there's a lot of pressure going on in that ruck. As Ethan James stands out here on the right, can't work his way through Ormond, who just manhandles him, then gets a bit of help, can't get those knees to ground. Ethan James is a little man on big man, and that'll be New Zealand ball. Lewis Ormond with pure strength.
Oh, he just wrapped them up, did Lewis Ormond. showing his strength. Debuted in 2015, had a break, and he came back, and he's doing stuff like this. Come
Okay,
here,
straight away now.
giving headaches to the South African attack. Featherston,
Okay, let's go, please, Blake.
Rokolisia,
Crouch!
Rokolisoa, sorry, in there as well. Power
Bind!
plays this All Black Sevens.
Time ticking down. It's the halfbacks. Rokolisoa and
You two stay
Peron.
off each other. We don't need it.
Doesn't need it.
I don't know
Geordie
what's going on
Way
here.
with 3
Let him
seconds
get
to
his
go
head in, okay?
on the clock,
Let's
but
hear
I
him.
reckon
Yeah, I'm coming
Peron
over
might
here.
have another little nudge. You have a chat.
Crouch!
I don't need it, but they might want it.
It's Rokolisoa who's had the nudge instead.
Bind!
Still keeping
Set.
eyes on each other. The halfback. Eventually, Rokolisoa gets away, and New Zealand finish off pool play unbeaten. This one tight and tense. But another strong performance from New Zealand. They had to come from behind in this one to beat South Africa 12 points to 7. The kids have enjoyed what they've seen. So we've got plenty more sevens coming up.